Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first roundtable of the day. Please remember to remain on mute unless you are asking a question, and please remember no follow-up questions. And without further ado, I'll pass it over to Carly, who's going to moderate for us.
Hi, thanks everyone for coming. Hi, Gregory. This is our parent press here that are very excited to talk to you. I'm gonna kick off our first question over to Kathy. Kathy, if you want to ask your first question.
You got it. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. So sure to let you know this was the best Pinocchio ever that he's ever seen. So I wanted to ask you, what is it that you would like your audience goers to walk away with this Pinocchio?
I think what I love about this movie is that it's got so many morals, and obviously you're all parents, so you can relate to a lot of what happens between Geppetto and Pinocchio. But what I love is that it's not just them two. There's three main father and son figures, and so there's the Podesta and Candlewick, but then there's also Volpe and Spazzatura. So you can see throughout the film there's these relationships, and they get into conflicts, and at some points Count Volpe's angry at Spazzatura, or the Podesta is saying to Candlewick that he's a disappointment. But I think you've got to watch the movie and take away that in the end Geppetto realizes he loves Pinocchio, and that he is his son, and that he is a real boy, and that your parents might call you things like a burden or treat you wrong, but in the end they are there to love you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Carrie, would you want to ask the next question?
Good morning. So Pinocchio is a boy or a puppet of many different personality characteristics throughout the movie. We get to see him being kind of sassy and innocent to being brave. What is the one personality characteristic that you enjoyed portraying the most throughout the movie?
That's a very good question. My favorite characteristic of Pinocchio is how loud and energetic and boisterous he is. As much as I love having to fake cry and scream and shout, I love just sort of being the innocent young boy that Pinocchio is, because the thing is that was me 2 or 3 years ago, so I could relate to him in a lot of ways, and I love when I make those silly and innocent remarks, like when the cricket tells Pinocchio that Carlo's dead, and he's like, how do you lose someone for 4 or 5 years? And I love the lines like that really show how Pinocchio he's just come into this world.
Thank you.
Coraline?
Hi, Gregory. The movie's amazing. I loved it. I was just wondering, what was it like doing voice acting for you?
I always wanted to be in an animation, so I've been in a few live action movies, a few commercials, and a TV show. And I said to my mom, I want my next thing, I'd love to be in an animation, because I find it so fascinating how no matter what character you're playing, when you're behind the microphone and you're not actually there, even though you're not the character that you're trying to be, you sort of have to become him or her. So I found that even though it's an animation, and even though I'm not Pinocchio and I don't look like him, I found that I had to sort of become him and try to take on his personality. And so even though you don't have a costume and the set and the people around you, because a lot of the time I was in the booth on my own, the awesome thing is that you're sort of still being that character, and you're not just the voice of it, you actually are it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nicole, do you want to go?
Hi, Gregory. Love the film, and I'm curious, you had to voice 2 characters in the film, and I wanted to know, what was the hardest part for you in voicing these characters over the span of a couple of years that you guys recorded the film?
So there were a lot of challenges when I was recording for such a long amount of time. One of the main ones is that as any preteen boy, my voice is gonna eventually break. So that was a challenge for the directors and producers because we had to get everything as quick as possible. And especially with the singing, I'm so relieved that it's finally over because I've always loved singing, but it's so unnatural for me to hit those high notes. So I had to have a voice coach, and it was for about 6 weeks, but I'm so happy that it did get to be my voice, because they were contemplating if it was going to have to be a choir boy, because I was close, but I wasn't there. But I put the hard work in, and eventually I did reach those notes, and I got to do those songs.
You did fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Monica, you can ask your question.
Hi, Gregory. I just want to say that this is a very interesting take on a very classic fairy tale. And you got to work with one of my favorite directors, Guillermo del Toro. So tell me how cool was working with him.
It was honestly such an honor to work with Guillermo. It was like a walk in the park. The way he does stuff it's so awesome, because sometimes I would look at a line, and no matter how many times I say it, I can't deliver it. There's challenges sometimes, but Guillermo could give me the perfect techniques, and he's like a magician. He's not just a director. He's truly magic. How he manages to come up with these prompts to help me, because it's a lot harder to work with kids, and especially I was 10 years old, so it would probably be different if I was recording today. So for Guillermo to be able to be so versatile and work with so many different people, it was so awesome to work with him.
Well, you can see that there was synergy there because the movie was amazing.
Thank you.
Cami?
Hi, Gregory. I'm Kami from themamadiaries.com. I absolutely loved the movie. You know, there's a lot of different versions of Pinocchio, but this one was hands down my favorite that I've ever seen. So I'd love to know, what do you think makes this version so unique from the others?
I think what makes this version so unique is that it's not just an animation that it's made to sort of make money. It's really a beautiful story. And I think what Guillermo said is that he tried to make it as naturalistic as possible. And it's so pure, like when Pinocchio's nose grows, the leaves grow out and branches come out instead of just going in a straight line. And so I just think it's so awesome that's the way he's done that. And he's also, it's also a little bit more creepy. But I think that it makes the movie a lot more interesting and beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Robin?
Hi, Gregory. I'd love to know, did you have a favorite scene from the film once you saw it finished, or maybe a favorite scene that you recorded?
That's a very good question as well. So I've got a favorite scene that I did, and then a favorite other scene. So the favorite one that I did was towards the end, when I had to lie to make the nose grow so that everyone could get out of the dogfish. And I just completely loved the concept of that. I thought it was so awesome. And I was speaking to Patrick, the writer, and I was just saying to him, how do you come up with this stuff? Because it's so clever.